Jonty, a 40-minute performance in the first half to take yourselves 18-6 to the break. They come out much better in the second half. Did Toulouse put yourselves to the sword? Finished Whitehaven 24, Toulouse Olympique 34.
Yeah, disappointing, mate. Especially after last week. This is what this team's like. The Jekyll and Hyde. They weren't good at all last week, and then we put a performance in like that in the first 35-36 minutes to be 18-0 up against a real good side. The fair dues, they were a bit off, but I think it was the pressure defensively that we put on them that made them spill a few balls. So 18-0 up. You should be finishing games off, Jordan. That's 2 or 3 times we've been 18-0 up now, and we don't finish games off. Just because we don't do the right thing. Second half kick-off. Wasn't a good kick-off on 20 metres, then we give a restart on tackle 4, and then we give a penalty, and then we're behind the sticks 2 minutes into the second half. And that's after they've got to try it in the first half off one of our errors again. We knock on first tackling, good ball, and on a restart, and they go the length and score. Gives them a bit of a leg up at half time. They get that tie 2 minutes into the second half, and you just see our lads, just the life gets sucked right out of them. I don't know what it is. They just feel as though I think this is what I think. They feel as though their heads are down, that, you know what I mean, they would do the right thing again, you get back in the game, eh? And I thought we did. We got back in the game and we scored to go 24-18 up, and we don't deal with the kick-off, and they score off was not dealing with the kick-off, that set, and then we kick off again, they scored again, then we kick off, it goes out on the full, so they get a tap on halfway and they scored again. Like, that's the game absolutely gone, like. It's frustrating, mate.
It must be frustrating, because especially after last week and what had gone on there in the second half at Halifax, they come out, your side have shown 35-36 minutes, as you've said, and they just haven't been able to come out in the second half and replicate it for whatever reason. That there may be, obviously, individual errors, kick-offs and such things like that. They're not going to help, but you know, they were there for the taking today.
100% they were, and that's a frustrating thing, mate. I knew last week was to me it was a one-off. It had been coming, because we had this discussion last week about being up in games and not finishing them off. But last week that happens most seasons with some teams. You get blown away. But I knew, regarding who we're playing today and the team we had out, we're good enough to beat these, Jordan, eh? And that's a frustrating thing. We really are. Maybe people think I'm deluded, but we're 18-0 up against a real good side by doing what we need to do and going set for set, getting a fair share of the ball, only using 3 subs, so we're nice and fresh, because we've got a fair share, so we're not defending. Then second half just tipped right on its head. We hardly have any ball. The first yardage step we got was it 15 minutes in, and we get pushed back over the line for a dropout instead of going low and tackle one, and you know what I mean. So we just don't help ourselves. The smarts in the game management. Sometimes it's a mile off. Sometimes, isn't it? But it's the frustrating thing is it's there to get in that lead. You know what I mean? We're doing the right thing to get in that lead, but it's concentration. I don't know, something like that.
I think I heard your remark behind it before we start. It's the 3 kick-offs that's obviously had the issue going, is that second half, and that second half where they did have that roll on, they just were able to outmuscle your side just after the hour mark. You know, you mentioned it was 63. I think it was the 62nd or 63rd minute when Jake went over to make it 24-18. In the 73rd minute, it's 34-20, yeah. 32-24 or 34-24, and as you mentioned, the game's all but done.
With something about kick-offs and us, some teams must love it when they're kicking off against us, because we done it last week at Featherstone. You know what I mean? We started the second half last week. We knocked on that right on first half. Can't remember what it was, but
and we spoke about it last year.
We didn't deal with it off the kick-off there, and it's same again today. We don't deal with kick-offs, but only against teams like this. So you don't deal with a kick-off. They're scoring, and then they go back to back. You know what I mean? So yeah, simple things there. One
extremely bit of bad news was Dean Gebby. He seemed something innocuous. He just went down when the ball went dead. It seems that it's a potential a ruptured hamstring, whichever way you look at it, it's going to be tight. If you see him again this season, depending on the scan results.
Yeah, obviously Courtney said he needs a scan right away. The doctor thinks it's a full rupture. So if that's the case, you'd be lucky if you see Eddie again, to be fair, but hopefully the scan will reveal maybe it isn't that bad, but that's just initial thoughts. We'll have to wait and see what we get with the scan.
And we asked on the radio, but James, was that any sort of injury or just tactical, him not returning in the second half?
No, it was just... Basically, I needed to keep that sub back because our middles were blown out the backside because we were doing that much defending, and I'm thinking, well, Lenny was going all right, I left him on there and just waited to see if I needed that sub for somebody else.
In terms of the loanees, obviously you're fetching Lewis Baxter this week. This is the end of the initial 2 weeks for Lenny and AJ. I think in terms of squad members or the members you need for your squad, you imagine you'll be looking to try and extend them and try and keep them within the group.
100%, yeah. We need to get on to OKR, see if they'll do us a favour and let us keep them for another couple of weeks at least. And obviously Noah's loan spells up as well. He had the initial month, so we'll have to get on to Warrington with that. And yeah, Lewis done all right today, didn't he? Especially the first half. He's a decent player. He's a threat when we've got the ball, but when we don't have the ball as much as we did in the second half, the games go by people, don't they?
And finally, looking ahead to next week, it's Swinton away. It was a really tight encounter down there last season. Obviously, just lost by a point, and the encounter up earlier in this season was a tight one as well. You always mention sort of Swinton there, your yardstick when you measure them up against other championship clubs similar to ourselves. You imagine it'll be a tough encounter and a tight encounter down there in Manchester once again.
100%, it's going to be. It always is, and I said it before, they're a real rugged side, and it's which team comes out, the first half team or the second half team, and that depends on what the results are like next week, and that's as simple as it is. We come out like we were in the first half, we'll have a good chance of winning. We come out like we did in the second half, and there's no chance of us winning.